Hello and welcome back to another episode of DC Alliance. Of course, I'm your host Clay, and with me, like always, is Travis. Travis, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, Clay. I had my first day at my new job today. That was fun. I literally ended up doing pretty much nothing besides printing off a few things, waiting for an access card, among other things, and IT to light a fire to give me access to some uh, files and folders, I guess. So, I'm still pretty excited. Besides that, just trying to get back in the swing of things at the start of a week, long weekend.
Nice,
What
nice.
about yourself?
I had a little bit of a long weekend, more so just because I was babysitting my cousin's dog, and Flynn had the time of his life. But now that that dog is gone, Flynn is super depressed. He doesn't have anybody to play with. Uh, but it was an eventful day. I went into town for the first time in what feels like weeks. But yeah, just a simple day. Kind of relaxing. Also, got back. Uh, haven't played the PlayStation in what feels like forever also, so I got to turn that on literally
Ooh,
up until the point that I got on here, really.
okay.
Um right now I'm playing a Final Fantasy game, Strangers in Paradise, really fun.
Okay.
But this isn't a video game podcast. This is a DC podcast. So, before we get all into tonight's show, let's go ahead and jump into the GUA network plugs. Of course, DC Alliance is a part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance network. What that means is we are just a part of a giant podcast family. 8 shows across 7 days a week on a bi weekly and weekly schedule. Of course, starting us off is Slice of Film and Ranger Alliance. This week was Ranger Alliance with me and Jake. We talked about a lot of Pink Ranger stuff. It's very heavily invested in the Pink Ranger this week, which is not a bad thing.
No, not at
Um,
all.
but there was also a one shot comic talking about in space, which was really really fun to talk about. Also, no news, but it does look like the most recent Power Rangers season, Dino Fury, is about to end, and there's rumors that it has ties to Mighty Morphin. So when that ends, we may be talking about that because it might actually lead into the brand new season, the 30th season of Power Rangers, which we have already agreed on to cover in the future.
Is
So
that
that
is that the show where the Jason David Frank like does a spinning like kick on a dinosaur?
uh
I thought I
I
saw a clip of that the other day where he like does a spin kick and kicks the dinosaur, then runs away like a giant T Rex.
nice. It might be because the season finale has already been broadcasted in Mexico, but not in America. It hasn't hit Netflix yet. Some people are saying that it might be a month from now to hit
Ooh.
America, or some people even on the internet have gone on to say it may not even hit America until October, which I would absolutely hate. But coming up soon, we have San Diego Comic Con here for DC and Marvel stuff. But for Power Ranger stuff, we actually have Power Morphicon, which is in August. So we're going to be getting a lot of news for Ranger Alliance come August, which I am looking forward to a lot. But after those shows, of course, is us, DC Alliance, superhero discussions with yourself. Then we have Star Wars Alliance with me and Katie, Marvel Alliance with Chris and Brent. I'll walk through the multiverse with Joe. And then, of course, World's Finest True Believers with Chris again. Now, DC,
That's
Marvel,
that's monthly too. World's Finest
yes,
True
yes.
Believers.
World's Finest True Believers has moved to a monthly show, and Walk Through the Multiverse actually is going off of the weekly because The Boys has finished. But DC, Marvel, and Star Wars all go live on the Geek First YouTube channel on their separate days, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Us, of course, right here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Star Wars at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Marvel at 9:10 Eastern Standard Time on Thursday nights. Now, Just so everybody knows and is aware, we are a ad-supported network as well as a listener-supported network, so we will have ads in this show. Either myself or Travis will warn you of those ads coming up. We don't choose the volume, how many times they repeat themselves if they do, or the ad itself. So we do apologize for that. But if you don't want to listen to the ads, you can always join our Patreon. Patreon is just $1 just to say thank you, but to get that exclusive content on top of the ad free shows early, we do have, of course, the $5 tier. So we actually have the uh, new show that Travis went behind my back
Are you really
to
gonna keep up
announce.
with this nonsense? You treat me like a leopard whenever I brought that up. Clay, you want to do a show? You were like this.
Yeah,
Look it up on the
because
screen. Yeah, no, Kenobi and I guess all these other things and 4 other podcasts. Maybe down the line. It was asked you like 7 times, and Joe was like, "Sure, I'll do it." Yeah.
yeah,
So
because
myself and
Joe has
Joe.
already seen most of those movies and he's probably not going to watch them again.
Oh, he watched it. He watched Batman 66, and
Oh man.
that was the first movie. We were doing DC films through the years. Now you're welcome to join us on any of those episodes.
I'll wait until you finally get to the like more
But
so 70s and 80s.
we were looking at the Wonder Woman made for TV pilot today, like talking about
Oh
that. So we
no.
may even
Oh
check that out in
no.
'74. So we're gonna look at that. We're not. It's not a straight review either, listeners. It's more like our top
Oh, I thought you
moments
were
that we
talking about
think.
the current Wonder Woman TV pilot.
No, no, no. The one from 1974. It was a made for
Okay.
TV movie that was a pilot as well, and it didn't even get picked up. So yeah, Joe has the. I thought I had the list, but Joe had the actual list with everything there. So yeah, we're just going to do our top moments, our least favorite moments, and if this was their greatest performance, like they didn't do anything any bigger than that, and obviously we go on some side tangents, like talking about how excessive Batman running around with a bomb for 2.5 minutes, but it still worked. It was hilarious. So, yeah, we're gonna keep going through the old movies. Hope one day we'll get to the current movies and like merge and be done. But until that day, like we're gonna go through some old movies. It's gonna be fun.
And then me and Travis Snell need to get together. I have finally finished both issue 5 and 6 of Batman 89, and we need to review those. Katie has her legendary conversations and comic conversations as far as Star Wars goes, and with her husband, of course, Matt. Those are really, really fun to listen to. Go check those out. Joe has the return of Multiverse Minutes. Chris and Joe have, of course, the we can watch this all day in a very
Chris and
timely.
Brant, Chris and
What did
Brant,
I say?
Chris and Joe.
Oh, Chris and Brent have a timely release of We Can Watch This All Day with Thor
Or
being their most recent release. And I have actually started a new show on Patreon called For the First Time, which is me going through all of the shows that I refuse to watch because of how hyped they were and finally jumping on the bandwagon. It has been 10 years since Game of Thrones. And so I am 2 episodes in. Man, the ending of that second episode, holy, I'm angry.
You're gonna say that a lot, Clay. Just say it
I
quiet.
am
You're gonna say that a
angry.
lot. You're gonna say that a lot.
Um,
It's a good show. I'm glad for you to get into it. Essentially, patrons, you're gonna be following Clay for a couple of years, maybe till he gets through Game of Thrones.
no, no, no. So Game of Thrones is only 73 episodes. So that's 73 weeks. That's a year and a half.
Okay,
So,
well, the year and a half. That's still pretty good. There's a lot of show, like this is a perfect show for you. I'm interested to see like how this goes. I can't wait for updates in the GUA chat when you finish some of these episodes because I
oh,
can remember
I,
being so furious. The best thing about this is the same thing when I used to laugh at when I get frustrated with people who just picks up Superman and Lois now. And
yeah.
I'm like, God damn, you just watch this without any breaks. The breaks for Game of Thrones were torture because you had the book people being like, ooh, we'll tell you what actually happens. And like, I don't want to hear anything. And then finally they passed the books, but
And for me, I think it is a nice pace to go weekly because then I am doing the exact same thing everybody else did is weekly, except for the breaks. There
yeah.
isn't a 4 or year break, a 4 month to year break between seasons, I can just go all the way through. With 73 weeks, I think it is kind of daunting, but it is something that I'm very much looking forward to. I already have like 3 or 4 shows that are lining up after Game of Thrones, but I really need to look at the
You
catalog
should do a
via
poll as
Netflix.
well
Oh,
to pick
I
one of
think I
them.
will. I think when it comes down
If
to
you got 4
either the
shows, it's like,
last 2, I think I will do the last 2 seasons. I will do a poll for like 4 or 5 shows and see what the patrons want me to go over next, and then I will change my schedule accordingly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget my top fives aren't going anywhere as well. Don't worry about that. They're not going anywhere. There's a new one being recorded on the weekend, so can't let that
Very
slip.
nice. Now let's go ahead and jump into the
Can I say
news.
one thing before we start the news? A little like uh, error that was missed last week when we were talking about Superman and Lois, because I discussed this with Chris from Marvel Alliance in a DM chat before we went on, and I forgot about it totally, and it really irked me when he reminded
Yeah,
me
he
that I.
told me. He told me.
So Superman throws out his crystal to make a new Fortress of Solitude in the middle of the ocean, and this is not like up in the Arctic. This is just like seems like cold Boston, like off in the Atlantic Ocean a little bit. And how much like aquatic life did he kill there? Like there was nothing. Oh yeah,
No,
so I just thought I thought the
not
exact
only
same thing.
aquatic life, but you have to realize that massive giant crystal fortress is causing ripples and quite possibly shifting plates of on the planet. So he's causing so much more damage to Earth than he thinks.
Yeah, I was just like,
It's
Chris
hilarious.
sent it to me in a DM, and I was like, that's the first thing I thought when he threw that out there. And it started just sprouting up. But I just wanted to throw that out there because I was kind of frustrated that I missed that last week.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into this. So, the very first thing is our main topic of the night because it's something that we weren't really sure was going to happen. We kind of had a debate over this, and I've actually put a poll out on DC Alliance on Twitter. So, go check out the poll if you haven't voted already. It's still up for a whole nother week. San Diego Comic Con, DC, WB, we're going to Comic Con. The first announcement was with Black Adam. I believe it was The Rock himself
Correct.
posting this video, basically saying that it was they were going to be going to Hall H immediately after. I don't want to say immediately, but a little while after that, Shazam, their official Twitter account, said that they were going to Comic Con as well. Zachary Levi followed that up with a video of his own. So these are the last 2 movies of this year of 2022 coming to theaters. And it seems that we are going to, instead of the fandom that we all thought we were getting, and I feel like I say all, but you felt that it wasn't coming this year.
Yeah.
And that's the poll. The poll is, and my question to the audience is, do we see fandom again at all from here on out? Because I said on the poll you have 4 options. Yes, no, yes with comics, and no, San Diego Comic Con was always better. I will go ahead and tell you now.
Let me rephrase that. You have yes, no, a maybe, and a dick response.
Yeah, that's usually how polls go, right? That's how.
And we had a person pick the dick response. So
I don't know
props
who
out
it
there for
is.
no, I know. Props out there for that because that's just hilarious.
But it does seem like there's people who believe that fandom is coming back. I said this right before we started recording tonight that fandom is just like having your own streaming service. Netflix, Disney, HBO Max, Paramount, all of these streaming services. It is important for those companies to have these streaming services so that way they don't share any of profits or whatever. We applauded DC and WB for doing fandom the first year.
Yeah, oh yeah, because it was well organized,
We
and I thought it was a
we
great
thought
experience.
we thought this was the new way to do basically San Diego Comic Con without San Diego Comic Con, whether it be with Disney doing their own thing, Marvel doing their own thing, whatever. We thought was the new thing, and they were going to spread out and do that. And we kind of got that. We got the Investor Day immediately after that, I believe, where we got the Marvel announcements. You've always kind of had D23,
Yeah.
but even with like the whole thing with Miss Marvel, they're like, oh, is there really going to be an Avengers con? For real? Feige said it might be a possibility, kind of tongue in
Well,
cheek
you just
thing.
said there's a Ranger Con, so I can
Yeah.
imagine that you get a Avenger
Power
Con.
Morphicon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we weren't really hearing anything for fandom this year. No whispers whatsoever. And for somebody who does keep up with the comics and keeps up with people who keep up with comics as well in the community, we're not entirely sure if DC exactly knows what they even want to do for the next 2 years, or if they're keeping it very hush hush to make this big ol' announcement. And with movies, who the hell knows, right? With everything going on with what feels like every property, who knows? So this jumping in to San Diego Comic Con, Black Adam, Shazam, it seems appropriate because you do need, if you're not going to have a fandom, you need a way to hype up these fans. Am I super excited about DC going back to San Diego Comic Con? Not really. I feel like San Diego Comic Con's days of like getting news and everything else, like I just kind of have to sit next to my phone. And I understand that I do that anyway. But with fandom, I was able to know, okay, between this time and this time, I'm getting all of my DC stuff, and that's all I care about. With San
Not
Diego
not in the
Comic Con,
second, not last year's fandom.
not last year's fandom, but you still got a overall, hey, fandom is usually about 4 hours long, 6 hours long, whatever. Now, the first fandom tried to do a 24-hour thing, which was ridiculous. But, you know, they were still doing the, I think it was
I
like
don't
12
think that was
hours.
ridiculous because it wasn't like it was repeats of things that
And
we've
that's what
seen,
I mean.
and
It was
that
really,
was
it
for
was really
everybody
just
for the
12
world.
hours repeated over and over again.
For people in other parts of the world that were in way different time zones, which I don't think it was as bad, and I think that fandom this past year was a little bit of a disaster in the way it was organized and the way I don't think people it went took a step back in my opinion, like
Yeah.
compared to the first year, which I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to get bigger and better.
So, do we expect anything else to come out at San Diego Comic Con?
Well, we got it was one of the little stories I had in the news roundup is Gotham Knights will be there. The person who's Nightwing is going to be there. They're going to
No, no,
talk
no,
about.
no, no, no. That's not my question. My
Oh,
question is, do you think there's going to be a secret announcement at San Diego Comic Con? Anything special? Anything at all? Or do you think that it's just like, hey, we're just going to promote these two movies
well, we'll get our
and
first Shazam trailer,
yeah.
and I don't know, maybe something with Levi and The Rock. Uh, I don't know if a panel or just a showdown kind of picture thing, but I don't see them dropping anything else besides that. Like, no, they wouldn't do a secret panel or anything like
No, not a
Flash or
secret panel.
Aquaman.
I mean like as far as you see Black Adam, you see Shazam at Hall H, and then all of a sudden, boom, an announcement of Shazam versus Black Adam.
Shazam 3 or
Or exactly, do you think
yeah.
we're going to be getting one of those?
I don't know. I think there's a better chance because it's just two of those, and both of those are going to be on Hall H. And I'm not sure I can't remember the times. I think I have they don't have the time yet for Black Adam. Okay.
I have not been looking at the San Diego Comic Con schedule, so
No,
I
well,
have
The
no
Rock just
idea.
released that he's going to be there Saturday, July 23rd, and same thing with
Okay.
Zachary Levi. So I presume so. It all depends. I would love to see it, Clay. I'd love to see even just a showdown of two of them, or Zachary Levi coming out and crashing his party. Uh, I'd love to see something like that, but I'm not sure. We'll find out. I'm excited about them actually changing course because it was all Marvel. That was just all we were getting, And now
Yeah.
at least we're getting some DC content. It's nice. We'll get a, at the very least we'll get a Shazam teaser or something to talk about. I think we'll get a trailer. Uh,
Hopefully.
yeah. So
Hopefully.
and I think that's about it for things that we'll find out in Comic Con. Like I'm excited to see two of them stand up. We're not going to get. I find it hard. We're going to get not going to get any news from Aquaman or uh, the Flash. And to the whole question, I don't think we're ever going to see fandom again. I think this might spell the end of fandom. I don't think you need to put resources in. I don't see it. Maybe
Well, I
once
was
they
gonna ask,
go
what is your reasoning behind thinking there's no need for fandom anymore?
I don't think I would love for fandom to continue. I'm just thinking of the Discovery, Zaslav, money part. That's all. I feel like you could get that listener stuff without having to go put off that big kind of event. I don't know the cost. Now I need to know the cost of fandom for to know if it's worth Zaslav's time. That's all. I don't know the money to engagement to I know they put out like
I
we
mean,
had the
but at the
most
same time,
viewers at one
you're
point.
putting I would say you're putting the exact same amount of money or maybe give or take some in marketing overall throughout the year anyway. So,
Yes or no, but like I don't know if it gets you any more like people coming to the actual film. Like I don't know like sometimes Marvel will drop a trailer just on a Wednesday and that trailer does gangbusters and that's part of your marketing, but it's not like a big
but
like big
even so,
hoo-ha to
it's
show it.
San Diego Comic Con is the exact same thing. You're just waiting for a trailer or news, and then a whole bunch of people share it on the internet.
I don't think this is going to cost you as much. And I think SDCC was very desperate to get these big hitters back into their uh, event because not having them the last couple of years has definitely hurt the brand.
Oh
You
yeah,
know
no.
that. So
San Diego Comic Con online has been horrendous.
so who knows the cost benefit to this now compared to like let's say when BVS came out, like maybe they had to pay to exhibit there. And maybe like a cost lot more than what it does now because they were desperate. I don't know the differences, like because we know that Zaslav is very numbers based, money and viewer like money. So I would need to know those are the decisions that I think they're making basing this on now, not on a for the fans as
Yeah,
much as how much money is this costing us and how much revenue is this generating us? Can we even project how this generates us any revenue, or is this just because I love the first fandom? It's still one of my favorite experiences just because like the time when I didn't have to watch stuff. I could go and look at this Batman 89 doc or this Arrow doc that I remember seeing on season 1 DVD that I never watched, or like just so many other things. These comics creators talking about various runs and stuff. It was so cool. Like I didn't even know half stuff that you could get into. But the other one, you were forced to watch 4 hours straight. You didn't know when things were coming, except we had a good assumption that the Batman would be towards the end.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
And I think that if it does come back, I'm not going to give my answer on whether I think it will or will not. I will put that to the poll literally on the last day because I want to see how things are shaping up on that poll. Um, but if it comes back, I do think that they need the structure again. I think they do need the schedule
yeah.
and they need a little less of the like don't get me wrong, seeing those interactions with cast members and directors and everything else, it's fun, but I feel like we're seeing that in the interviews that Chris Hemsworth and Taika are doing right now. SWeb says, "Yeah, I really loved fandom at least the first year, but I don't think it'll come back. It seemed like a temporary solution that worked out better than they expected for the first one, at least." So
I agree with you, S. Bubs.
I I I agree. I think that they needed to desperately find a way to promote their stuff, and being innovative and throwing that out there was a really cool idea.
If this was if the previous regime still like if Discovery didn't have these guys purchased, I would assume that we would get a fandom because you have 4 movies that you could build fandom around. Like I do you forget that teaser trailer? I didn't forget that teaser trailer. Or there are movies you could build this whole event around, but this is not how they are looking at things. They're still trying to look for ahead of DC films. So, like, I don't think fandom is highest on their priority list right now.
True.
Yeah.
The only bad thing that I'm not looking forward to is like on Hall H while he's talking about Black Adam, he's going to promote superhero pets because that's the same weekend.
Of
Like,
course, I think
like
they'll have their own panel. I hope maybe they'll have their own
no, they're
panel. They
not going
won't.
to have a panel for a movie that's already out. Like, no, they'll legit just be like, oh, and by the way, if you want more Rock, go check out DC, you know, superhero pets or whatever it's called.
Maybe, I don't know. I could see it. Like Marvel has a whole animated like panel, so I could see them having something. But I don't know if they want to shell out because the voice actors, like they're bringing in some heavy hitters for this. I don't know if you want to shell out them for appearances for this kind of thing. Yeah.
So SPubs does say, or instead of DC fandom, they could do like an HBO Max event, something like Netflix's Geeked Week.
Yeah, they'll do it when they merge HBO Max and Discovery, because then they'll have all the big celebrities from HBO Max interacting with the people from Moonshiners and Pawn Stars and stuff.
Maybe I think even Geeked Week, like some of those were interesting. Also, it does bring buzz for an entire week. If you can
Oh
do
yeah.
1 week or just a couple of days to have you like be the talk of the town, even for 3 or 4 days, I think you're fine.
Well, even 5 and 6 years ago, before like, when they before everything was reset, DC was pretty big at SDCC. You'd had the Friday was, or the Sunday was dominated by DCCW shows and their trailers for the next seasons, and the Saturdays was DC movies and Marvel movies. Marvel wasn't even into television,
Yeah.
and in 6 years, Marvel has completely uh, like kept going with the movies while DC's kind of slacking back a little bit in that regard, and they've jumped right into the TV department now. So it it's sad for that part, but I can see why you would use SDCC to market these two movies.
Yikes. I have never been to Hall H and I've always wanted to go, but if The Rock announced that, I would run out of that panel so quickly. As Bub says, at the end of Black Adam, The Rock announces a super pet screening for the people of Hall H. Yeah, hell
Like,
no.
let's not act like this is Catwoman yet. Like, I'm reviewing this for superhero discussions. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be reviewing it
Well,
alone,
will
but
I wait? Will I get any jokes about stealing content for this one? I don't think so. Yeah. You'll be
no,
like, yeah, I don't want any of the part of this.
I mean, if I have to pay you to stay out of it, I think I might. So let's move on to
You
our
hate Kevin Hart so much; it's so funny.
let's move on to our next topic. Travis, what do you have for our next topic?
We have a trailer, Clay, for season 3 of Stargirl, and no, this is not the cam recorded trailer that Brie Bassinger shared uh, a little before they shared this into the world. So funny that she had to share a cam recorded trailer from a little con. But we have a minute long trailer here, and I will share my screen and get into it.
Yeah. Minute long TikTok approved. Like that is as soon as you
But
see
now
one
that's
minute
that
long.
generation too, Clay. Kind of what they're going for. I don't hate that. Like to market towards that TikTok generation a little bit, because that's basically the age of the people in the Stargirl show, for a sense. Like that's like high school students. So I can see why you would go down that road. It sucks for people like you and I who want a 2 or 3 minute trailer. But even think about that, like in the SDCC trailers for DCCW shows, they wouldn't. They would show basically a minute of the previous season and then show you basically a minute of the new stuff in the first couple episodes. So this is not exactly off brand, but where they have all the episodes shot, I would have hoped for a little bit longer of a trailer. Who knows when SDCC rolls around, but this is what we got, and it basically opens up to Starman is living with Stargirl, and he's going to show Stargirl the ropes and teach her how to uh, basically
Be a better
level up.
superhero.
Level
See
up,
that
we'll say.
don't say it. But this scene
Uh,
right here, this is the one that I was talking to you about before we started recording. this scene where Joe McHale lands with the superhero suit with the staff, it doesn't look great.
But
Uh,
now, see, that's what sucks because right here, like that actually looks good with Bree and the staff. So,
they
like,
pick and choose on their shots, of course, with CGI, and I just think that they pick and choose on the wrong
they
moments.
also have and almost 2 months. So let's cross our fingers that they're still polishing up this thing. So yeah, he basically says he's going to train her and show her some new tricks, and we get a cool. Uh, I'd love to see some more new powers. Her eyes light up later, and they want to find him a job. This is very Starman centric trailer, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
does look like he is gonna be a much bigger part of the story this season. We've
Yep.
gotten small little interactions with him, in season 1 and 2, and now he is in the thick of it, and we actually see, uh, Sportsmaster
Sportsmaster
and
Progress. I think
Tigress, yeah.
Tigris, yes, and their daughter. And
Yeah.
I love what Starman says here, essentially getting mad at Pat for living next door and being okay with the people that killed some of the members of JSA. And I did like that, basically, like, dude, what the hell? Uh, and we get to that guy who I can't remember who that guy is, a gambler. I
Uh, was that his name?
think
I
his name was the
couldn't tell you.
gambler. But he's yeah, he was gone from season 2, so I'll be interested to see what he gets up to getting back here, and we see basically the children of the, Injustice Society, and they're gonna be good is what we're getting at here.
Now, are we sure that the oh shoot, what's his name?
Icicle
I
Junior?
yeah, Icicle Junior. Are we sure that he's gonna be good necessarily?
I don't know, but they're putting like a relationship vibe with him and, uh Stargirl, so I can see eventually maybe he'll be like a little bit angry at her at first because they stopped his father. I think she killed. Well, actually, no, Mike killed him, drove through
Yeah,
him. So yeah, so they become allies too. See, we show them kissing there, and
I
yeah,
did not see
Starman's
that
on the
kissing
hunt.
scene before.
So
Yeah, and this
with
is where Starman is getting angry at the fact that like you said, living next to basically supervillains.
and it seems like he came after them right here. He's coming after Sportsmaster and Tigress right here.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, that looked like two different scenes spliced together. It looked like one of them was in like maybe his garage, and the other one looked like they were in a supermarket. That was weird. But right here specifically, yeah, that part it looks like he is definitely going after them. So Joel McHale might actually be the quote
Villain.
unquote villain.
Sorry, Greg. Shout out to Greg from the old host, co-host here. He always wanted Joel McHale to be a superhero, and he might not get his wish now. I thought he was putting him more towards that, but and this is not something else I want to talk about. Looks like he's finally recreated the hourglass,
Yes.
which that's pretty cool. That's I gotta say that's pretty good for VFX right here for me anyway. Just from a like still shot, I think that's kind of pretty good. So like you said, they pick and choose, which is tough because this explosion here is exactly what you were talking about, Clay. Like that's just as bad as the Starman one. This I don't want to critique all the VFX, but
Yeah.
I'm excited for the season, Clay. This show has been able to exist without uh being on the Arrowverse. So I don't think that the uh, get off the Arrowverse, like being on the Arrowverse, will get you canceled. It's going to affect Stargirl. And we did enjoy season 1 far more than season 2, but we didn't hate season 2. Like it was, I don't know if that was because we
No,
watched it with Titans and that glowed it up quite a bit. But we'll see now with this third season, especially where they think they got to have an idea that they might be canceled. So I hope that they go for broke this season.
yeah, I think that, like we said, I think it was near the end, we were having a little issues with some of the writing. Again, the VFX. I think that we had said it's it's a balancing scale that we see could very much fall flat with this season. But
This
here's
could
to
be the
hoping.
final
Yeah,
season as well, right? Because it's
yeah.
so in flux. So I don't want to hold. some of the VFX problems against it with the whole sale of CW while they were shooting and what it sold for. And I don't know what the resources the people who bought it are going to put into it or anything like that. And they're doing this through that whole entire process. So I don't want to hold that against them essentially because the first season was so good. I don't want to. I will watch the third season, finish it, but like you, I think the pendulum may swing. So I'm kind of I could be wrong. Like I said, I went into Miss Marvel thinking that I was going to hate it, and I love every I loved every episode. Yet, so it could be exactly like that.
Yeah, for sure. Now, with that, we have what one more topic to talk about, and that is the fact that we've talked about this before via pops, but
Yeah,
I think
this
this
is
is
a much
actually
clearer look.
I think this is an actual McFarlane toy
Yeah,
that is being shown off. We see a better look at Sabak, which is the villain of the Black Adam movie. Um, it looks nice. I have, my own personal reasons for not buying McFarlane toys, but uh, it looks good.
I think it looks like tremendous. Just for what it'll probably look exactly like that on screen.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I'm excited to see it on screen. I don't have high hopes for the villain. I really think he could be just a flavor of the. I don't think you're going to spend a lot of time focusing on the villain. We'll say. Let's just keep it at that. I think there's going to be a lot more time focusing on Black Adam and JSA.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think this will be a very forgettable villain, is my guess on that. But I'm here for all the other things.
I'm there for everybody else, probably except for Black Adam, but I'm there.
Yeah.
So it is what it
Okay.
is.
Okay, Clay. One other thing before we get into our announcement, just let me bring this up. We have another trailer to talk about because they love giving us trailers over the weekend. We have Harley Quinn season 3 trailer, a full trailer.
See, I did not watch this one either. Uh,
Well, get ready for some fun. And there is one scene in particular I shared in the GUA chat
oh
that
yeah.
gets me super excited. Super
Probably
excited.
not super excited for that one either. For
Oh,
that
you say not or prob?
for that moment, probably not going to be super excited.
What happened to this full episode?
What do you mean?
You won't be excited for they go into the Batman the Animated Series universe?
Well, I've never been a huge fan of the Batman animated series.
I just think it'd be so cool, like just to see him interact Kevin Conroy's Batman,
But
and
for what reason? You know?
I'm sure they'll keep a kind of in story crazy reason for it. But yeah, so we got a full not quite 2 minutes and 50 seconds with Harley talks for a little bit here. But I do love that we open with Nightwing talking. Uh,
I did see snippets of Nightwing showing up on my timeline.
yeah, so he's there narrating very dark and broody, and we have Harley and Ivy back in full force, and the whole gang is back together again.
Did you say you were going to share your screen?
I thought I did.
No, you did not.
Oh, my bad. I'm there. Sorry for that, listeners
Or viewers of this
or
YouTube.
viewers of the YouTube. Sorry. Okay. Luckily, I zoomed past the Harley stuff. So yeah, we open, like I said, with Nightwing showing up. Uh,
I do like the design of Nightwing. I think it looks nice. Uh, but I think I'm more over just, excited for the return of the show. It has been gone way too long, in my opinion.
I think it's with animation that's tough too, right? You don't know, especially with the way HBO Max is going. You don't know if you're going to get a next season, and then you have to go. I hope Bane is an addition to the crew. I don't know if it's just a one-off for an episode, but I would really love because he's one of my favorite characters that we don't get spend
See,
enough
I think he is better as just like
small
just
doses.
in the sprinkles that he's in.
I could
Otherwise,
be right. I will attest. You might be right about if we get too much of him, we might get sick of him. But I would love for them to try it for a few episodes at the least because, like I said, he's one of my favorite villain characters. And he's talking about sprained his hand in ping pong. Uh, yeah, so it looks like Joker is running for mayor as well.
I
Uh,
saw that he and of course his children are uh back in this season.
also, hold on,
Was that Jason?
I think it was. He says he's tired of
Beaten
being.
and bruised. It does look like Jason Todd's suit. So
So maybe we may even get Red Hood down the line. Who knows?
maybe I could see it like being at the end of the season.
And like I said, Joker runs for mayor. The funny thing of throwing money at somebody and they didn't catch it. I really enjoy the Joker in this show, and it seems like Ivy goes off the rails here. Like it's her plan to terraform Gotham, and it does not go well. Uh, she seems to be taken over by the plants in some of these scenes, and it seems like Harley has to team up with superheroes to try to take her down. And I gotta say, I'm here for this. Look at the Bat family swinging. Yes, yes to all of it. We see very little Bat. I don't think we see any Batman in this trailer,
No, not from what I was seeing in the bits and pieces that were showing up on my timeline.
except when they show the characters. Yeah, so I'm excited for this. Just zany Harley adventures, and well, we got that little thing. This is what I'm talking about right here.
That small little they like fall through the
Fall
sky.
through this portal above them, and considering this too, where she's wearing the Batman the Animated Series suit again here, and they fall through, and this is Batman the Animated Series look. So I really hope they go that route. I'm super excited for that.
Hmm. Well, we will see how it goes. This, of course, comes out July 28th. So that is what, 2 weeks from now?
Yes, and they have a funny discussion like Wing and Batman about brooding, and Batman calls him out for basically talking like "Hello." So I can't imagine how that conversation is going to go.
Now, I believe that is it as far as our topics of the month.
Stargirl is coming out on the 31st of
Yes.
August, and we will be reviewing those episodes, so don't worry about that.
Now, depending on how the schedule is, we may have to do it just like we did Superman and Lois being a separate episode. Uh, really depends on how lazy they are with the scheduling with
Yeah.
Stargirl.
Well,
So,
I don't think it drops on If it drops on Tuesdays, listener will probably do that if they're doing weekly. If if it's anything like Wednesday, Thursday, we'll just cover it on Monday's show. But like Clay said, because we want to do special episodes for Superman and Lois, but the way they scheduled that, it was absolutely terrible.
yeah,
Like you couldn't build any sort of audience that wanted to listen weekly when you were taking month breaks at a time.
exactly.
Exactly.
But with that, guys, thank you so much
But
for Oh, do we have one more thing to talk about?
the announcement?
Oh yeah, we do have an announcement for you guys. Completely forgot about this. So me and Travis Hines, of course, we have decided that we are going to have a Patreon exclusive show talking quite possibly one of our favorite shows that got us into DC TV. Me personally, I was. Oh shoot!
Uh,
Hold
I,
on.
I
Hold
didn't
on.
think it was Patreon exclusive. I thought it was just going to be a segment on the show.
Are we doing a segment on the
I
show?
thought I thought the whole, the whole construction of this because we had no content for DC Alliance, and that is what you never mentioned. You said no to Patreon.
I thought it
No,
was Patreon, so that
no,
way it
because you
wouldn't.
said we wouldn't review the show. We said 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right. Well, you could clearly see there's a lack of communication on DC
no,
Alliance.
or a
Oh
lack of
no, no,
remembering, a lack of remembering. Let's
oh
put
no, it's not remembering.
yeah,
No, it's a
like
lack of communication.
me not asking you to be on the DC Film 30. Yeah, come on, come on, come on.
All right. Well, I guess we will do it here on the show. It won't be very long. It won't be a huge segment. It'll
It'd be
just
like a
be
comics corner segment, like a 15, 20 minutes talking about those episodes.
yes. So episodes it is already teased there. We are going to be talking about Smallville. Um, I remember watching that pilot for the very first time back in shit. What was
On
that?
cable, right, Clay?
2001
On cable.
on cable on WB, not
Yes.
CW, on
No,
WB.
WB with the
Um,
frog, with the frog.
so we were going to be doing episode by episode um, up until we, I guess, get more and more content. Whether
Well,
that,
even then, we will still cover. We'll still cover it. It's just sometimes if we have a movie review, we will. It won't be on the movie review episode. So there
yeah,
are times we will miss, but we
if
are going
if
through.
the show is running long, I think that we can skip it for the week or whatever. But it is the reason why, and it's mainly my fault. Um, I need something to get excited about because I am really not getting excited for most things DC. And jumping back into one of my all-time favorite shows will give at least some spark of life in me. So we will be reviewing.
Let's hope it
Uh,
doesn't fuel your cis side to be like, God damn it! Remember this was awesome. Ugh, fuel the
what do you
hate.
mean? I was like that by the time season 3 of The Flash was going on. Like,
You're like that in season 10 of Smallville. Remember season 5 of Smallville? Season 6? Those were good
yeah,
times.
no shit. Like,
Season 10 that was not bad. I love how they went into the hard into the whole DC mythos for the final few seasons.
yeah,
We got a
and
lot of
we
stuff
and
done.
we will give more commentary on it. In we understand that this is coming along right around the time of
That's
Rosenbaum
why we're
and
doing
Welling.
part of
So
why we're doing it.
the reason why is because we also want to hear some of their insights on it and give some opinions on what they thought of these episodes as well as like some of the background on it. I own all 10 seasons with the box set, so I have some of the bonus features on there. Don't know if I'll be watching that uh for these episodes, but that should tell you right there. Like, I don't buy physical media anymore, and it has been on my Christmas list forever. And then Abby finally bought it for me like 2 years ago.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited to see you go through season 4. The witch
Season,
season? The witch season? I'm really excited to see you go through the witch season, where
oh,
Lana becomes possessed by a witch from the 14th century.
oh, fuck yeah, dude. Like, when they had all three witches, oh, like, hey, I was in high school. Sexual awakening, dude.
That was so bad. That
Sexual
season,
awakening.
listeners, we can get through this season 4 together. But not
It's
joking.
not as bad as he
No,
remembers.
I'm exaggerating. The witch parts, some of the witch parts were bad, but still there's a lot of good stuff in there. Obviously, I'm exaggerating quite a bit. Also, we'll see um, Soldier Boy in there as well.
Yeah. See, those were some bad episodes.
He's
But
in season 4 as well.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Either way,
I can't
it is
remember.
some.
I can't remember his fate either. I'm really interested. I'm not going to dig into any of that now. I'm really excited to go through this show. This it was between listeners. It was between this and
You
Arrow
don't
too.
remember what happened to him?
I know what his fate is, but I'm not sure how it happened. I can't remember now. So like it's been a while
I
for me.
I barely remember, but we will get into it. Again, that will start with the next episode, and yeah, it's gonna be very funny, very very fun looking in back at the pilot, especially for sure.
I'm really
So
excited to do that and listen to their podcast that comes out every Wednesday. The first episode of that is coming out this Wednesday. So check that out, and we will be both watching that before the weekend, and we'll talk about the first episode on Monday, the pilot.
yes, for sure.
Somebody save me! No, I'll stop.
I wasn't gonna do it either way. Thank you again for lasting this long, listeners, and we will see you guys next week.
See you next week.